Last week, a beleaguered band of Cincinnati Bengals, led by reserve quarterback John Reeves, surprised everyone by jumping out to a quick 10-0 lead over intrastate rival Cleveland. But rookie receiver Don Bass' 51-yard first-quarter touchdown was the only one of the game for the Bengals, who were hoping to quell rumbles of a coaching change. Their coach, Tiger Johnson, had no time to enjoy his team's early margin because of an angry and aroused Cleveland defense that physically manhandled the Bengals all afternoon. While the Browns' defense excelled, the attack had trouble putting points on the board. This 71-yard bomb from Brian Sipe to Reggie Rucker was canceled by a penalty. It wasn't until late in the third quarter that the Browns' offense came alive with another long-distance strike from Sipe to Rucker as the catalyst. Graceful Rucker's 41-yard catch and carry led to Cleveland's first points of the day. A field goal, and the very next time they had the ball, the Sipe to Rucker combo burned the Bengals again. Rucker virtually stealing the ball from Louis Breeden for the touchdown that tied the game. Minutes later, the two arch rivals entered sudden death overtime. With everything going their way now, Cleveland won the coin toss, and on the opening kickoff, rookie running back Larry Collins, number 23, turned potential disaster into the play that decided the ball game. Collins' long return gave the Browns great field position, and Cleveland soon left the issue up to dependable Don Cockcroft. The NFL's all-time leader in field goal accuracy did not disappoint, calmly kicking the winner that gave new coach Sam Rutigliano and his Browns an exciting second straight victory. In Kansas City, number 32 Tony Reed rushed through and around the Houston Oilers defense for 141 yards as the Chiefs' ground game continued to run rampant. They totaled 261 yards rushing against the Oilers, outplayed them for most of the game, and led 17-6 entering the final period. For 3 quarters, Coach Marv Levy's wing T offense baffled the Oilers. But in the last quarter, Houston's vaunted 3-4 defense, led by number 52 linebacker Robert Brazile, shut off the run and shut out the Chiefs the rest of the way. Rookie sensation Earl Campbell's 2 short fourth-quarter touchdowns caught Kansas City from behind as Houston won its first of the season, 20-16. In San Francisco, O.J. Simpson celebrated his hometown debut with a touchdown catch from Steve DeBerg. But the first-year quarterback had another tough day, throwing 3 interceptions for the second straight game. The last came when his team was protecting a fragile 4-point lead late in the final period. Virgil Liver's 17-yard run with a lateral interception set up Willie Harper's touchdown dive. For Walter Payton's unsung running mate, it was the second game-winning touchdown in 2 games. As for the celebrated duel between super runners, O.J. easily beat Walter Payton 108 yards to 62. But the Bears prevailed in the football game 20-16. When Chuck Knox became the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, there was never a question of if the Bills would improve. It was simply a question of how long it would take. Against the New York Jets last week, Buffalo seemed ahead of schedule. An 85-yard interception return by Charles Rome was one of many encouraging signs Buffalo displayed throughout the afternoon. But on this day, it was the Jets of head coach Walt Michaels and quarterback Richard Todd which waved the magic wand of victory. Derek Gaffney's escape was but one of 3 New York touchdowns Todd materialized through the air. The other 2 went to Jerome Barkham as the Jets pulled out victory in the final minute of play. While both the Jets and the Bills have shown improvement over last season, the Atlanta Falcons seem to have picked up where they left off a year ago, something Ram quarterback Pat Haden is likely to agree upon. While the Falcon defense is as effective as ever, their offense still wears their look of last season, and that's a scary masquerade, especially against a team of headhunters like the Rams. Atlanta never scored a single point. Los Angeles, on the other hand, did, but only because Pat Haden's bombs put the Rams in close enough times where they could squeeze out the victory. Atlanta turned back Los Angeles 6 times inside their own 3-yard line. But when running back Cullen Bryant found the one tiny crease in the Falcon goal line, Atlanta experienced one of those nightmares they had hoped ended last year. This time, 10-0. Certainly no team has been a bigger surprise during the NFL's first 2 weeks than the Green Bay Packers. Though they're still a long ways from ever repeating their glory years, for the first time in a long time, the Packers are looking respectable. Against the Saints last week, Green Bay's defense kept the New Orleans attack subdued, while their offense debuted a potent combination in number 17, David Whitehurst, and number 80, James Lofton. Three times this pair combined for touchdowns during a 28-17 victory. Such early progress marks the most encouraging signs this program has experienced since Bart Starr became head coach. And if only for the first 2 weeks, football has become fun again in Green Bay, Wisconsin. When quarterback Burt Jones's arm went into a sling, Baltimore's football fortunes took several wrong turns for the worse. Baltimore's troubled offense has yet to score a point in regular season play. Last Sunday, Miami's Norris Thomas turned the Colts' first offensive series into a one-play Dolphin scoring drive, igniting Miami's 42-0 destruction of the Colts. Even the Colts' usually sound defensive unit was badly beaten. Virtually untouched, Dolphin runners picked their way through large holes, and Baltimore defenders spent much of the afternoon chasing them down from behind. Four different Miami ball carriers combined for a gaudy 292 yards rushing, an encouraging performance by Don Shula's team coming off their opening day loss in New York. However, for Ted Marchibroda, a coach with an ailing quarterback, it was a disastrous affair, one from which the Colts may have a tough time recovering. But there's no despair in Washington, where Joe Theismann is not only healthy, but has finally been designated the Redskins' starting quarterback. No more Billy Kilmer wobblers. From now on, nothing but tight spirals to receivers such as tight end Gene Fugate, number 84. New Redskins coach Jack Pardee wanted to put more imagination in Washington's attack. With a sprightly quarterback like Theismann, even an old relic like the flea flicker can be dusted off for one more go-around. While Theismann has put new pizzazz in the attack, a rookie kick return specialist has been earning high praise on Washington's vaunted special teams. In period 3, he mishandled a Rick Engels punt, but then he collected himself, sized up the situation, and made the best of it. Number 34 is University of Florida rookie Tony Green. Based on an outstanding preseason, many are calling him the NFL's next great kick return specialist. His virtuoso performance here resulted in 6 of Washington's 35 points against Philadelphia. The Eagles, for their part, also played outstanding offensive football, particularly number 31, Wilbert Montgomery, who left the Redskins behind for 4 touchdowns. Not too shabby a performance. Unfortunately, the fourth quarter Montgomery touchdown Philadelphia needed the most met with an unhappy ending. When a zebra puts his palms down on an apparent score, it can only mean trouble. Sure enough, the Eagles were detected holding. Philadelphia never quite regained their momentum. Late in the period, they pulled to within 5, but not soon enough, as Washington hung on for a 35-30 victory and a share of first place in the NFC East. Somehow it seems inevitable that first place in the NFC East soon will belong exclusively to the Dallas Cowboys, for in Dallas there's talk of a dynasty. Consider the reasons. First, there's an offensive line that does its job so thoroughly that Dallas's great runners often score untouched. Then, of course, there's Dallas's dazzling array of formations, a precisely patterned wide-open attack, and superb execution. And above all, there's quarterback Roger Staubach, polished, poised, and accustomed to success. As good as the offense is, the defense may be better. Take, for example, Harvey Martin, the league's premier pass rusher, whose slick moves open up unobstructed paths to the quarterback. Offense, defense. It's all here, and most importantly, there's an abundance of depth. Last Sunday, reserve tight end Jay Saldi scored one of Dallas's 5 touchdowns as the Cowboys rolled to a 35-24 win in New York. It's no wonder the world champions are developing a bit of disdain for those mere mortals who must oppose them each week. In Pittsburgh, there is reason to believe that the once proud Steelers are going to pot. Since winning 2 consecutive Super Bowl titles, the Steelers have had to struggle to reach the playoffs. And now even upstarts like the young Seattle Seahawks refuse to show the ex-champions any respect. There was a time when Pittsburgh did all the intimidating at Three Rivers Stadium. But last week, the Seahawks came to town confident they could hold their own, especially with number 10, Jim Zorn, at the controls. The pint-sized product of Cal Poly Pomona directs a wide-open attack that led the NFL in touchdown passes last season. Seattle gained over 300 yards but scored only 10 points because, despite rumors to the contrary, the Steel Curtain can still take matters in hand. Veterans like number 75 Joe Green and Terry Bradshaw, number 12, gave Seattle several glimpses of how things used to be as Pittsburgh put together just enough nostalgia for a 21-10 victory. While the Steelers made their record 2-0, over in St. Louis, 2 former Oklahoma University coaches were looking for win number 1. The elder OU legend is white-haired Bud Wilkinson of the Cardinals, the younger New England's Chuck Fairbanks. Both men felt right at home, and with all that red and white on the field, it even looked like Saturday afternoon in Norman. But it was Fairbanks' Patriots who kept doing all the right things. Wilkinson's Cardinals had trouble executing properly even when they managed to score a touchdown. In all fairness, Wilkinson is a rookie NFL coach with an unsettled team, while Fairbanks has had 5 years to build a contender stocked with superb talent, like quarterback Steve Grogan, number 14, and tight end Russ Francis, number 81. While New England still hasn't lived up to preseason expectations, running quarterback Grogan led them to just enough points for a 16-6 victory over St. Louis. On a field far from their Boomer Sooner days, 2 legends touched hands briefly, then moved on, knowing past glories only gathered dust in a Norman, Oklahoma trophy case, while present problems wait to be solved. Out in San Diego, the Chargers' heads were reeling from 18 defeats in the past 19 games against Oakland. Some said that Raider owner and operator Al Davis had made a special deal with someone concerning last-second victories. But this time, San Diego was determined to change their fortune with rock-rib defense. Huge Louis Kelcher, number 74, and his mates rose up to hold the Raiders to a mere 84 yards rushing. And when Dan Fouts' pass was deflected right to tight end Pat Curran, it looked like San Diego's luck had finally changed. The jubilant Chargers took a 20-14 fourth-quarter lead before an eerie specter rose out of the backlit dust of San Diego Stadium. Like so many frightening times in the past, Snake Stabler was leading his henchmen out of the depths of defeat and down the field. 10 seconds left at the San Diego 14. The whole scenario of Oakland miracle finishes is almost predictable by now. Only the incredible endings change. This one may have topped them all. Who can explain how an oblong ball with pointed ends can escape from a quarterback, careen 18 yards along churned-up turf, and come to rest in the end zone in the arms of another man on the same team? Dave Casper and the Oakland Raiders didn't really care what the explanation was. They simply accepted another routinely miraculous victory, 21-20. Now, if we can just find that man Al Davis makes his deals with.